Hi.
Hey!
We are live. You know what? We have somebody here that you guys probably don't know yet. So this is Ann.
Butina.
She is part of Big Bob. What's up, Big Bob and Ann's podcast. So we wanted to introduce you guys to her, and then we're going to play an episode with who we're playing today.
Kyle Witherspoon, Johnny's Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know how you two met.
Oh,
She's happily married. I'm in a committed relationship. Stop.
it's nothing like that. Wasn't it a
Why don't you
dark? No.
Tip your hat back a little bit so that people can see your eyes.
Okay, there we go. I work in the golf industry and the swimming pool industry, and I had to interview a golf professional. And I was working on that today, and it's hot outside.
Why
So
don't you put your hat back a little bit more?
why don't you just shut up?
So how'd you guys meet?
Want me to tell?
Go ahead. You can tell the story.
Well, which version do you prefer, yours or mine?
PG.
No, I mean which version?
PG.
There. Okay. Have always been a writer, and I was at a networking event years ago, like 2009. You know, back when you were a young man, and I was a young
This
woman.
is elder abuse. You know that, don't you?
I'm elder too. Okay, so
No,
anyway,
yeah, you are getting old.
yeah, I am
Yeah.
old, sick, and tired of your crap. But anyway, so I was at a networking event. you know.
Elder abuse. This is elder abuse.
Oh my God, there's a lot
No,
more
no,
I could
David.
use.
Big Bob.
All right. Do you want them to know the story, the truth, or do you just want me to make something up? You were standing on a street corner with a sign that said, "We'll work for food." I had pity on you.
He probably said something else on the
Yeah.
World War
Okay,
You
so,
don't have to tell
so
the
I was
truth.
at this networking event, and one of his employees at the time, who's no longer with you, came up to me after the networking event and said, "Hey, I got someone you need to meet." And he told me, and I had heard of him through his infamous TV commercials. And so,
Infamous. What does that mean?
oh, you figure it out. Watch the commercials, Google them.
This is getting abusive.
They're
They're never taking them anywhere.
Who flipped your switch?
It's been a long weekend.
Damn. Kind, gentle, right?
Okay.
Be nice.
Well, it takes a couple chapters to get to the kind and gentle part.
Speaking of chapters, you kind of did something, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah,
that.
okay, so fast forward. Called him up, I believe. Come into my office. I want you to help me write a book. And so about a week later, I came here and he told me he wanted to write a book and I was to be the ghostwriter. And he knows this. I've said a lot of times. I was like, I'm intimidated. I'll never measure up to this man's standards. And so
she hasn't.
I know. I have. Well, he hasn't met mine either, so we're even.
Okay, there we go.
So anyway, he was our first meeting. He was a peripatetic pontificator, and if you don't know what that means, look it up. And you probably
How do you
will
That's
have.
spell
a
it?
big word.
Well, I don't know. Look it up. Peripatetic pontificator, making a path in this carpet, just talking and blabbing and carrying on. And I was
Imagine that.
furiously taking notes.
This is going to be our last show.
No.
This is going to be our last
Okay,
show.
so I was furiously taking notes. I went home and typed up the first chapter or a sample therein, thinking this is what he wants. I email it to him, and he's like, if he was a teacher, he'd have given me an F,
Ooh.
maybe a D minus.
D minus.
It,
Good,
That's
good
still
effort.
passing.
good effort.
Good
Yeah.
effort.
Well, it wasn't his voice. And so he was kind enough, see, they're kind words, kind enough to give me a second chance. And evidently I passed the test.
Not only did I give you a second chance, I told you how to do it right.
Okay, well, I'll let you have that one. Anyway.
You get one.
You get one. That's it. So we wrote an entire book over a period of about a year. And of course, that was meeting once a week. And so I got to know him. And interestingly enough, I still stuck around.
Yeah, you're
For
still
the
here, and
next
now you guys are
14
doing
years.
a podcast. Talk about this podcast. What's it about?
Well, before I do that, can I say that this gentleman has a heart of gold.
He does.
And once you're in his circle of trust, you get treated like royalty.
He
Seriously.
don't want people to know he's a good
Oh.
guy.
No. Then everybody won't be in my circle.
But no, he's wonderful. And I'm glad that I pursued it further because has probably been one of the most satisfying and fulfilling friendships I've ever had.
PG friendships.
Oh, yeah, friendship. No benefits except laughter and love and hugs. You know what I mean.
Elder abuse.
There's no bruise.
But you said something about your book because she said you told her it's not my voice,
Right.
and then she did it.
Yeah, amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. when I gave my dad the book to read, he said, "It sounds like you're sitting right across the other side of the coffee table telling me your stories in your voice. I heard your voice telling your stories." And I said, "That's all I am." To capture my voice
Good job.
was fantastic.
It clicked. It clicked.
So needless to say, you refer her, you give her a nice recommendation for somebody that's looking
Never
for
in
a
writing.
ghostwriter.
He doesn't want proof that he actually.
So you
No,
guys decided to do a
she-
show.
But she has taken that advice,
Mhm.
and every time she writes somebody else's book, she tries to capture their voice instead of her style. She tries to capture their style of communicating, which makes it a lot more
Yeah.
beneficial, meaningful, and
Well, and the year after we met, I got a job with Match.com, and over a period of 10 years, I wrote profiles for 11,000 people seeking love, as
Oh,
if I were
wow.
each 11,000 person in their voice. So that
That's a
set
lot
the
of profiles.
foundation.
11,000 profiles. I would say you're a professional writer.
Professional matchmaker too. I was invited to a few weddings.
Oh, hey, how
Were you
about
really?
Yes, I
that?
was. And I'm friends with some on Facebook, and now they have a family. And I'm like,
That's cool.
are any of those people watching our podcast now? No.
well, that's all.
We only
I
have six
shared it.
people. We only have 6 people watching our podcast because you haven't opened up your Rolodex to share it with everybody.
I have to.
No, we
Okay.
need to get with it.
Yep.
We need to get with it. So tell them about the show and what's it about?
Well, you're
Who's
on a
been
roll.
on
Keep
it?
going.
No, your
Do
turn.
not let me second guess everything you say.
No, you like to talk. Keep going.
So Ann came to me and said, "I think we should do a podcast
That's
together."
not what I said.
Why don't you tell the story?
I love this. You came to me wondering what you could do to fill your free time, and I had some suggestions for you, one of which was do a podcast, but I didn't know how to do one. So I get on Facebook. Anybody know anyone who can help us do a podcast? And yours name came up more than anyone else. So I'm like, well, and I trusted the people who put you out there. So I contacted you. We all made the connection. Next thing we know, we got this podcast going.
Truth be told, you're cheaper than the other guy.
Yeah, I know.
But
I've been
her
told I'm
name
cheap.
came up more than others. I mean, she had a lot of, you got to contact Brenda Ringwood. I mean, what are you going to do?
You contact Brenda Ringwood's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history.
Almost.
You will be history if you keep up this attitude.
You know, we are writing history. It's not history yet.
Okay.
We're making history.
We're making history.
Right. So we've done a dozen or so shows.
Well, we started, what, in April?
We started recording in May. I think we've got about 17, 18 recordings. There's 10 out right now. You can go over to whatsupbigbob.com and check it out.
So one of our very first, and I think one of my favorite podcasts is the one we're showing right after
Yes,
this.
it's pretty good.
What you don't know about this podcast, Kyle spent the weekend in the hospital passing kidney stones,
That's right.
and he came out of the hospital, drove straight here to do a podcast, and he was scared that he was going to have a kidney stone episode while he's doing the interview.
And you and I both had those, so we know what those are like.
You've had kidney stones?
Oh, yes, 4 times. I've even had
4 times.
Mhm,
They're
Have you ever
painful.
had them operated on or
just last year.
ow,
Mm-hmm.
ow.
They're more
Wasn't
common than
fun.
what you think.
How many times did you go to the emergency room?
Twice.
So for each one of I've had two episodes. Each time I had kidney stones, I think I went to the emergency room 4 or 5 times for each one. And it got to the point where I'd show up in the emergency room, bent over.
Yeah.
They go, "We'll see you right away."
They know exactly why you're there.
Absolutely.
That's just because they said, look at that poor old man.
Well, he's not in labor.
Could have been.
I'm here to tell you, and maybe my memory doesn't serve me well, but I believe, having had 3 kids and having had kidney stones 3 or 4 times, it's even equal pain. Maybe one was greater than the other one of the times, but
It's
It's
the same
intense.
type of pain. isn't
same
it?
type of
Yes,
pain.
it
How
is.
about this? One of them comes out this big, and one of them comes out like a grain of sand, and they both hurt the same.
Yeah, and have you ever seen them under a
true.
microscope?
Yeah,
Oh my God, no wonder they hurt.
right. It's like
Spiky
a
little
spiky,
things.
Yeah.
right.
Mine was 9 millimeters, the size
Oh
of
my
a bullet.
gosh.
It's huge. And I had it while I was pregnant with my fourth child.
Oh my gosh. How far along were you?
In my 8th month. So I got put in the hospital for 3 weeks. They couldn't do anything because I was pregnant and I had to wait. So after the baby came, I got my tubes tied and the kidney stone removed in the same surgery.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
at least you're out for both of them,
That's
right?
right.
Hey.
That's right. Now insurance doesn't want to do that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do they do plastic surgery at the same time?
Yeah, I wish. Insurance doesn't cover that.
When did you get your plastic surgery?
I've never had any.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
I think you look absolutely spectacular for 68 years old.
I'm 70, but I'm 420 in dog years. How's that?
What kind of dog?
A bull mastiff.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Be careful.
So tell me some of the guests we've had.
Kyle Witherspoon,
Yeah, Johnny's
We're going to play
Tavern.
him.
Johnny's Tavern. Oh, my good friend Lindsay Schultz, the
Oh.
dynamic powerhouse of a real estate agent in
Yes,
Kansas City.
yes.
She's beautiful.
Oh, she's amazing.
Right.
Amazing. Robert Landau out of Houston, Texas, motivational speaker. Jeff Bury, PGA professional, hat
Yes.
tip, Titleist.
Big holes.
You've got a lot of friends. Steve Richardson.
Joe Bazone.
Oh,
Joe Bazone.
Mhm.
Yes.
Which Greg Orman.
Oh, yeah, Greg Orman. Amazing.
And then all the ones that you were out sick for.
No,
I wasn't
Kevin
sick.
Wilson.
Kevin
Got
Wilson.
Steve Howe.
Pastor Steve
Mhm.
Howe. Who else was she out for?
No, let's see. No, you were here for Kyle. We did. We did Kyle. You did Isaac.
Oh, yes,
You did
Isaac.
Isaac. Dr. Rick, you weren't here for.
Yes, I was.
Oh, you,
Yeah,
here for,
Dr.
you were
Rick,
here for
yeah.
Dr. Rick. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Yes. Let's see. We also have some coming up that's pretty powerful.
So we got stood up today.
Not stood up, just we had to pivot.
No, I got
Hence the
got
reason
a,
for the
got a
line.
phone call from David Block,
Mhm.
probably one of the biggest commercial realtor in the Metroplex. Very, very well thought of, respected. We are very happy and grateful that he's agreed to do the show. But he called up today and he said he had COVID.
Mm.
And he asked he said he'd still come over if we wanted him to and do the
He did.
interview.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He sure
He
did.
said,
He
"Hey,
was
look,
going
I
to
got
do it.
COVID, but I'll come over and do the show if you want me to."
Well, that all depends on what day he's in.
What did I say to David?
Well, you said lots of things to David.
You know, what else did I say to
You
David?
told him that he was a man of integrity, but
Yeah.
you also said, "Wait a minute, what is your secretary? What's that got to do with being pregnant
No,
and COVID?"
no, I said, David, that is the single best excuse.
Oh, you did do that, yes.
That's the single best
Yes.
excuse I've ever heard
Mhm.
for ditching me.
He did.
Right?
He
I
did.
mean,
He told him.
I got COVID, but I'll come anyways. I go, no, Mr. Block, thank you very much. We'll take a pass for your
He
schedule.
sure did.
So
Have either of you had COVID?
No, I
have.
haven't.
No.
I have. I had it last year.
yeah, I can tell by the long-term effects.
And then we've got Kim
The
Case
truth
coming
comes
today.
out.
Mhm.
That's what you're saying.
We've got Kim Case coming today,
Oh, yes.
who is a survivor of being kidnapped. Actually, so you might want to watch that
Yeah.
one later.
Sad story,
It
but
is.
with a great twist.
Yes, she completely changed her mindset. She's no longer the victim.
And that's the answer.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
And there's still more to come. There's still more to come.
We got a lot more to come.
We do. So you guys ready to watch the show? You ready
Yeah.
to watch the show?
Can we watch too?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay.
I like the music.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
All right, guys, enjoy.
Hi, what's up, Big Bob? And
Hey, what's up?
Kyle Witherspoon's with us. Kyle's with Johnny's Taverns here in Kansas City. Before we start, a special shout out to our executive producer, Brent, who is also the founder and head poopah at the Make the Best You Foundation. Thank you very much, Brenda. Kyle, I want to know all about your life story.
Boy, that could take a lot longer than we have.
It's
You got
3:05.
90
Let's get started.
Well, I think the part that you wanted to talk about pertaining to me, I've been in the restaurant business for over 30 years now. And
Will you start when you're 14?
no, but thank you. And I started out bartending and working the door at a little tavern in Lawrence, Kansas when I was in college. And now with my partners, we have 13 restaurants from Topeka to Raymore and almost 1,000 employees, and are an integral part of the community in all the different areas of Kansas City.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Very, very
Thank
proud
you.
of yourself.
Thank you.
How you got there is an amazing story. I'd like to share that with you. So you started out sweeping floors and working the door. What happens next?
Well, there's a lot of things in between there, but I can remember I may have shared a story with you. Rick Renfro is one of my partners, and he's in his late 60s now, and
That's so old.
yes, and he was the president of the KU rugby team, and I was bartending, working the door in college, and he said, "Hey, I'm going on a 2-month rugby trip. I'm going to be gone for 2 months with the team." And my college roommate at the time, both worked there, and now he's one of our partners, and he called us to his office. And both of us were like, "Well, what did you do wrong last night? What are we in trouble for?"
Is there any money missing?
And he handed us a dozen free rounds of golf apiece on this little card. He said, here's a dozen free rounds of golf. I'm going to be gone for 2 months.
So that's how you learn how to play golf.
Yes.
Which course?
Well, that was Albemarle at the time. In
Oh, I
Lawrence.
know.
Oh, that's a piece of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
And he said 3 things. He said, go to the bank every morning, lock the doors every night, and don't burn the place down when I'm done. I'll see you guys in 2 months. And I jokingly say, and I'd say that to this day, that was my formal restaurant management training, was that 10-minute conversation. And we kind of been rolling ever since.
Did you have a formal education?
I did 6.5 years of college with no degree.
What were you studying though?
Does it matter?
Yes, I want to know.
No, he wasn't studying. That's why it took him 6.5
Well, okay.
years.
Public speaking,
Public speaking.
philosophy,
never-
public
I would
speaking,
never guess that.
political science. I kind of bounced around to a lot of
Wow.
those. My dad finally told me that everybody else that was there for as long as I were doctors. And so I just kind of, this is what I've been doing my whole life. I can't remember another job I've ever had other than being in the restaurant business.
So what do you do now day to day?
I still go into restaurants every single day. And when I'm in there, I still pick up trash off the floor. I'll do a load of dishes. I'll help in the kitchen. I will bus tables. I would say what most of my time is talking with people, visiting with the customers, visiting with the people, and visiting with the staff as well. And so
So I got 2 stories that I can relate to.
sure.
As you know, I'm a storyteller, and does too. So I'm working at a retailer in Sarasota, Florida. And the owner comes in on a Sunday morning. He says, hi. He goes straight to the back and he starts cleaning the bathrooms. And I said, Mr. Johnson, I can clean the bathrooms. You don't have to do that. He says, no, it's part of my job. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, if the owner will do the dirtiest, nastiest job in the building, the rest of the employees should have no problems following his instructions of what else needs to be done.
Yep.
And so I go in the bathrooms every day, every Sunday, clean the bathrooms, because I'm going to come back to you and say, I need you this, and this, and I don't want to hear why you can't do it.
And that's one of the, when a new manager gets promoted, because we don't, I can't remember the last time we hired a manager from an outside source. And I think that's been one of the recipes for our success is people see a path to promotion inside of our business. But that's one of the first things when we hire or promote a new manager, I'll sit them down and say, hey, look, you're going to have to ask people to do things, not tell people to do things, ask people to do things. And if they don't see you, if you're not the hardest working person in the building, or if they don't see you do what you're going to someday have to ask them to do, then they're not going to respect you and you're not going to be an effective manager. So that is one of the things that in the very first sit down I have when a manager is promoted, that's one of the things that I try to enforce with them.
How did you expand so fast?
Well, it really hasn't been a fast expansion if you look at it, right? We opened our first store in Kansas City in 1991. And so that would have been
One
number
store
two.
every 3 years.
Every 2 or 3 years, right? And we go
So
slow and we're very calculated. And I think that's one of the good things, the ownership team we have now is there's 6 of us that sit at a table. We, make those global level decisions. And, there's a lot of differing opinions. And so it takes us a long time to hash through those things and hear everybody's voice. And sometimes we've passed on things that we didn't think that were good, or there's been times when the table was split, but it'd be 6 months later, we're having the same conversations and we finally come together as a group decision. So we move slow and calculated in those decisions.
I make a suggestion, either dump one or add one.
Right.
6 is a terrible number.
It is, it is a rough number, but
Do you have the trump card?
no, we don't have a trump card. We really don't. We've never gone to a trump card. Here's one of those
30
things.
years, no trump card.
Here's one of those things. We have operating agreements. We have business agreements. We have all these things that we sign, and they're in a file cabinet that we've never ever opened one time in 30 years.
Wow.
About voting or how do we get this, because
Solving a problem, a challenge.
we've never ever had to go to the file cabinet.
How many loud discussions have you had around the table?
Weekly.
Loud?
Yeah, and then we go play golf afterwards.
Any profanity?
Yeah.
We're not allowed to use fucking profanity.
What you just
But yes, all those things, there's those heated discussions and we storm out of meetings sometimes, that's part of a partnership, but we all respect each other and we all come back next week and we'll have side conversations in between our weekly meetings and just work it out.
So over our conversations, because we have a relationship outside of business, I've always said, why are you not franchising? And you said, well, it's not for us. It's not for us. And then eventually you told me how you expand.
Right.
And I thought it was brilliant.
Right. So, one of the things I think that you're getting to is this, is that we at our 13 locations, we have 13 managing partners, right? And we have decided that it's in our best interest to sell ownership in our stores to the people that are there every single day making the difference. And we have done that. And we have, 13 managing partners and between 5 and 30% of every store that we have. And some of them have ownership in a couple of different locations because we've moved them around. And, our thought process, one thought process is say, I want to make 100% of the money all the time in any business you have. But another thought process is, well, if I only have 80% ownership, maybe I can make more money off that 80% than I could 100% if I take care of the people around me. And, one of the things, Dave, that I think goes to this point is I've said all along, I'm not, we have 13 locations. We have close to 1,000 employees, all those but none of those things are what I'm the most proud of. What I'm the most proud is if you walk in a store and a server or bartender or manager would come to your table, and if you want to stop, hey, how long have you worked for Johnny's? How long have you been here? And the answer will range between 30 years, 15 years, 12 years, 10 years, 5 years.
wow, longevity.
Kyle, I always thought you were most proud of your wins.
No, but they're good though. But that's really that kind of tells the story. And I always say, look, if somebody leaves because they want a 9-to-5 office job and that suits their personal life, then that's great. I'm happy for them and I wish them well. If somebody leaves to go work at a different restaurant inside of our industry, I feel like I failed them.
Absolutely.
Somehow.
Absolutely.
Right? And so that's the
How many people have you put in jail for stealing from you?
0.
How many people could you have put in jail from stealing from you? That you caught? That you caught?
Hundreds over the years,
You
maybe.
caught 100?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
It's
Because
It's-
before you answer, I used to have a welcome to Big Bob speech.
Mhm.
And my welcome to Big Bob speech was, welcome to Big Bob's. This is 20 years ago. If you show up late or drunk, we won't fire you. If you show up late, drunk, and you tell my customers to eat shit and die, I probably won't fire you. If you come in late, drunk, tell my customer eat shit and die, and punch me in the mouth, there might be a way of resolving our differences. But if you steal from me It's black and white, non-negotiable. If your grandmother needs a 4x6 to put into her bathroom, ask me. Let me sell it to you at cost. Let me sell it to you at an employee discount. Let me give it to you.
Right.
Don't take it.
Yeah.
If you need a bottle of cleaner, ask me. Let me give it to you, sell you at cost or an employee discount. Don't take it because it's non-negotiable, black and white.
Yeah. And that's,
Welcome to Big Bob's.
and that's the same, it's the same, that is a non-negotiable deal. And some of your okay lists aren't on my okay list,
Well,
but
this is 20 years ago.
Right, right.
I was a lot younger.
you know,
I could take a bunch
I
of
always
them out.
use the analogy when we had our meetings. I'd say, look, if you're giving somebody a bottle of beer away, it's the same exact thing as if I'm at home at night sleeping and you sneak into my house and you go to my nightstand and you open my wallet and you take $5 out of my wallet and then close it and then sneak back out of my house. It's the same exact thing. But I've said all along, look, I know what it's, I've spent years behind the bar. I know your friends come in, you're a bartender, you want to be able to take care of them.
Right.
I said, fine, buy them a round of drinks, but ring it in so I know where it's going. As long as you account for it and it's above board, I have no problem with you doing that. Now, if you're doing it every night and the whole fraternity house is coming in, we may have a separate conversation, but I have no problem with you buying a round of beers or a round of shots as long as it is accounted for and I know what's going on.
And they still don't respect you or have enough core values to abide by that very, very simple line.
I mean, people, people get in difficult situations sometimes. It's not hard for everybody to ask for help. And so sometimes people do take advantage where they can. And we're in a cash business. And so the ability to do it for us is, the checks and
one for
balances.
you, one for them.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question I'm dying to ask, because with any business, it's the relationships that matter, particularly, the networking and everything. And I'm always curious, because your Rolodex, for those of you who don't know what a Rolodex is.
He still has one?
Wait, why do you always have to say how old I am?
You're not, you just like to go antique shopping. And you don't know, okay? But, you know so many people. How did you two meet and establish a relationship?
Poker.
Poker. For how long have you known each other?
5 years, 6 years,
Maybe longer.
maybe longer.
Here's a funny story. And I don't even know if he remembers this, and I don't know how much you know about poker, but we hadn't established a relationship. I'd seen him in the poker room a few times, and we're playing cards, and I get a hand that I don't think can be beat. I can't remember what it was. I may have had quads, and I'm betting into my hand, and he's 2 seats over, and he's just limping along calling, and I go all in, and he calls me, and he flips over the only hand in the entire deck that could beat me. And this was like 10 years ago, and that was one of the first times I remember playing cards with Dave.
Thank you. I didn't think that was going to have to happen.
No, but it did.
You guys still play?
Weekly.
Bi-weekly sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
And Kyle happens to be a much, much better poker player than me.
well,
He's a lot more disciplined and he's a lot more patient. In poker, there's basically 4 components of being a good poker player. You have to have card sense, money management, know your odds, a lot of arithmetic, and patience and luck. I have no patience.
That's true.
It's an automatic,
he does.
right? I don't. It's an automatic loser to go into any form of gambling without discipline and patience. You can't possibly win unless lightning strikes and you get lucky. By the way, I've been hit by lightning a couple of times
Yes,
in the poker room.
The thing is, though, is it's so weird, because I play poker because I think it's chess with cards, right? And it's great mental exercise for me. And so that's how I kind of got tied into it more than anything else. But then, over the past 5 or 10 years, I've developed a group of friends in the poker community here in Kansas City that, now we have phone numbers and we play a few times a week. And what's crazy is it's a great option. You get 10 guys sitting around a table, right? And at the table that Dave and I are at the table, and you have an electrician.
Excuse me. My real name is David, but everybody else in the world refers to me as Big Bob.
Among
Yes.
other things.
Yes.
Mom, see, there you go. That's sassy.
I have to be sassy.
Yeah. You can't be just good looking. You got to be sassy.
Sassy.
Okay.
It's a great, us, and you'll be an electrician. There'll be an 18-year-old kid who doesn't have 2
21.
nickels to it. 21-year-old kid who doesn't have two nickels to rub together. They'll be the biggest real estate tycoon in Kansas City sitting at the table with us. And so it's a huge mix of different people and personality and backgrounds that are all part of, I consider friends now just because we met in the game of poker. Yeah.
Okay, let's go full circle, bring this back around. Tell us about the menu at Johnny's.
Oh, yeah.
But by the way, if this is not the first, it's the second time we've mentioned Johnny's Taverns.
Thank you.
Johnny's Taverns, 13 locations in the Metroplex. By far the best bar food anywhere in Kansas City metropolitan area. Tell me about
Is there a bill for the plug on this deal at the end of the? Is that what's going
hit
on
the applaud
afterwards?
button. Somebody hit the applaud button. Okay.
It's funny because 15 years ago, we were a bar that served food. And we had pool tables and all those things. And the industry kind of changed. Smoking ban came into effect. We don't have pool tables anymore. And, we kind of pivoted and now we consider ourselves a restaurant that serves beer and liquor. And so,
And not a sports bar.
we're sports bars 100%.
Okay.
That's who we are. That's our core value. The
Right.
sports bars, the TVs, the whole 9 yards. But we think that we have one of the best bar menus. We're not competing with Capital Grill.
Yeah.
We've had those conversations, right? Those kind of places. But as far as a bar menu and like places, I think we have the best one in the city. And
$15 and under entrees,
Yes.
you got the best menu in town.
I think so. Yes.
Tell me the top 3 sellers.
Our Wilson wings we sell truckloads of those, and those are fantastic.
Oh, wait, that's a great segue. Tell me about your chicken wing purchases during the pandemic.
Well, we bought a lot of them in advance, and
How many is a lot?
I don't even know, semi trucks full.
Trucks full.
Yes.
And you had to buy 3, 4, 5, 8 trucks full?
Yeah, I don't remember how many, but at the time.
And you had to keep them in storage?
Well, somebody did for us. Yes.
Right.
Yes. And
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they're
To just make sure you got the right price, because
yes.
they're about to climb through the roof.
But we developed our own sauces. We have our own Wilson sauce and wing sauce. We sell them at Hen House, Price Choppers, all the restaurants in town. And we developed the Wilson sauce. My partner, Pat Roberts, kind of perfected the recipe. And I call it a cross between a wing sauce and a barbecue sauce. And so we cook we fry our wings, and then we dip them in that sauce, and then we finish them on the charbroiler. So it really caramelizes the sauce, and you get the grill marks on them and those kind of things.
Oh, wow.
And
30 grill every day.
What's that? Every day.
Every
day.
10
Yes.
seconds, a new.
But hands down, that's our most popular menu item.
Are you still serving Bud Light
Yes.
by the buckets, or is it cut down a little bit?
Ha! That's all you get, guys.
Well, I wanted more.
You
Well,
know
they
what?
can get more. Tell them
They
where.
can.
But he was just talking about the Bud Light controversial, and now I'm going to have to go back and watch the show all over again.
That's right. You have to go back and now my phone's ringing. Ha.
Huh.
What? Oh, we're got chopped off
Frozen.
there. What
There
happened?
you go.
What's up, BigBob.com if you want to see more. Also, YouTube. What's up, Big Bob and Ann?
Why does it say and?
I don't know. You called her Big Ann the other day.
What?
Must have been your hair looked weird that day. Big Ann, that big hair.
I don't have big hair. That's from
Well,
the
you got
80s.
a lot bigger hair than I got.
Not right now. It's
Why
like
don't you
under
tip
my.
your hat back a little so you can see the eyes?
There you go.
Okay.
He did.
He
You
did.
said,
it
well,
was-
you were here. You said, "What's up, Big Bob?" And he said, "What's up, Big Ann?"
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're going to interview Kim Case, and then we've got David Block coming.
Right.
We've got a couple others coming.
David
down
Block's
the
Yeah,
line.
coming
I don't
when?
want
Next
to.
week?
I don't
A
want to
couple
mention the
weeks.
other people until they're actually here, because it's very embarrassing if I start promoting it
Oh
and there are
yeah.
no shows.
So don't be a no-show.
Don't be a no
Will
show.
Shields and Ken Carter. I mean, but I'm not going to promote them until they're actually here.
Oh, yeah.
David Block. But other than that, ain't gonna happen.
Only him can get away. Only he can get away
Yeah,
with that.
That's
Only
because I'm
him.
old.
Only him.
You're
Old.
not old. You're seasoned.
I'm old. I'm cranky.
You've
I'm
been
fat.
cranky as long as I've known you.
That's because I've been old since you know me.
No.
Oh, you just got old. Is that what you're saying?
I've always been cranky.
Oh, okay. So he's been cranky
your
and
kids
not old. Now
attest
you're
to
old and
that?
cranky.
Sure.
All right. So anything you want to say to them before we get off, because we got another interview to
Well,
do.
let's just tee up Kim just a little bit.
Yeah. Kim K, she's actually a wonderful speaker. If you've never heard her speak, she's one of those that show up and you're like, wonder what she's going to talk about. And then she blows you away. She is a kidnapping survivor. And she says, I'm no longer the victim. And she helps other people who have been the victim to overcome. She also works for an attorney's office that goes in and works these type of cases to help those type of people get prosecuted.
Disclaimer, I've never met her before. I'm innocent of all charges implied. I wasn't the guy. It wasn't me. I was in a different state at the time. But her story is quite amazing.
It is.
It really is. And I'm
Can't
thrilled
wait.
to death.
She's also got a show called Brave Embrace, if you want to check that out. And it's stories similar to her own, not on kidnapping, but just people who have been through it and have come out of it on the other side better from it.
Awesome.
So till next time, what's up, Big Bob?
I'm not Big Bob.
What's up, Big Bob?
What's up, Big Bob? And save
yeah.
the best for
Okay.
last.
All right. Okay, let's try that again. What's up, Big Bob?
What am I supposed to do?
And Ann.
Well, why am I always last? Okay, try it again.
All right. Okay. What are my lines again? What? What's up, Big Bob?
And
There you go.
What's up, BigBob.com.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thanks.
See you
Loves
guys
and hugs.
soon. Bye, guys.